seconds remaining.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the broadcast here. The Dota 2 Champions League Season number 11, our final first-round match of the day here, at least. Coming at you again, best of one as they all have been. This is our really upper half of the brackets right here. Our lower half will be tomorrow, all back-to-back as well, so 4 games tomorrow. And definitely got a good amount of action throughout this week here in the single elimination format. But we're going to find out which one of these teams now moves on to the next round. Will it be No Logic Gaming or ZOKEN Gaming on the other side? Well, we're going to find out here with the draft getting underway. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Tsunami once again. Tsunami, final game coming up. We got Centaur to kick it off here for NLG.
Yeah,
always a good start.
It's been typically being banned out first phase every single time, but instead ZOKEN banning out an IO and an Ogre Magi. I don't think I've seen Ogre Magi first phase banned in ages, if ever, but
5 seconds
they don't want to have anything to do with it. Would much rather have NLG, who did have first pick, go for a Centaur instead, and that's a pretty auto pick if it gets through the ban phase, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's something I want to bring up about NLG here as well. Excalibur playing for them. Of course, he's most recently been the player of Team Horde. A couple things on that. First off, Horde officially announced, Ake officially announced earlier today that Horde is no longer a team. So, yeah, I know, breaking the news, I'm sorry. It sounds like you're hurt there by hearing that.
Well, I mainly like them as being that rival team to Alliance. I thought that was a very amusing synergy that they had, but didn't really show many results, and I guess each of the players had better things to do. Excalibur deciding to stand in for D2CL Season 11. Well, hopefully this will prove to be worth his time, as it is a BO1, so he needs to be careful.
And on top of that, too, though, Excalibur himself as a player, of course, he was a part of that team and no longer now, of course, being disbanded, but he was the most, not the most recent, but very recently he also reached 9K on the MMR list.
That's right.
So he is one of those players that's up there. And you look at, there's actually a post on Reddit because Abed actually just made it as well for Onyx. He actually just reached 9K, and he's the 20th player, I guess, to do so. So they had like the 20 players listed out. And just about all of them are actually going to be at the Kiev Major coming up right here on different teams. So, you know, you think of a player like that, it's a lot of people like to suggest numbers don't mean MMR, doesn't mean everything, but I feel like if you're 9,000 MMR, you're probably a pretty good player and deserving to be on a pretty good team. So, I wonder where Excalibur's going to end up.
Everyone keeps putting asterisks by some of them, like how Arteezy's asterisk is that, like, he did a lot of he's considered the first North American 9K, but like he gained a lot of MMR on a different server, and then he came, and then the asterisk that's often put by, well, I guess Abed most recently and Excalibur as well, is that Meepo is the secret formula for, you know, Meepo players to easily grind their ways up. We shall see if it'll prove to be relevant, as No Logic Gaming, Meepo hasn't been banned out yet, and Juggernaut is, you know, typically a safe lane hero, and Meepo is typically a mid hero, so could be something worth considering.
Yeah, that I know he's known for playing a bit of Tinker as well, I believe, so it's going to be interesting to see what he ends up with. But yeah, no doubt Meepo is up there, and that is a fair point as far as grinding that to get said MMR. But yeah, the Juggernaut pick going to be in the short lane most likely, so the option is still there. Now, I mean, they got Disruptor and Sand King, 2 decent heroes, I'd figure, against the likes of a Meepo, perhaps. So, not necessarily looking like the most appealing game to picking up such hero, but you know, if you're a great Meepo player, we've seen Abed most recently do that, of course, for Team Onyx, and one of the pretty much the main reason I think no one would argue that they're going to the Kiev Major. Definitely has potential to be pretty ridiculous and control the game. So,
10 seconds
and a best of one, I wouldn't put it out of the question, definitely.
And in the right hands, you aren't even too concerned about counters, which, granted, like you said, Disruptor and Sand King are some of the best counters for a Meepo, Disruptor especially, but we'll see how much confidence they have in the pick. I mean, Tinker also has a tough time against both these heroes, so I would say that ZOKEN have done their homework. I don't know if they knew that Excalibur would be standing in, but if they're adapting on the fly, then they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. Of course, a name that you would definitely recognize as long as you've been around the scene for a while, and I'm sure all these players most certainly have been. So ZOKEN, we'll see what they go with the third pick here, as they ban out the Crystal Maiden as to go with the OD on top of that. So they ban a different middle option that they expected could have been instead, and they still need plenty themselves, most noticeably the core and their own mid option, and depending where the Sand King ends up,
5 seconds
out of the
remaining.
offlane of the 4 position to come right here. So
yeah, in this game, I think Sand King is not too bad against Juggernaut going 1v1. Well, not 1v1, but being the offlane choice for ZOKEN. But it is dependent on what NLG want to give as support. Last game we saw... oh, never mind. There was a troll in that last game. But,
10 seconds remaining.
wow.
Tuh.
What the hell?
You know, we casted Cloud9 earlier. They actually ran Visage in one of their regional qualifying matches that we covered, and it did horrible. It was awful. It was like, why did they go with this? It made no sense. Yeah, no, it was bad. So my hopes are not high for ZOKEN Gaming right now.
5 seconds remaining.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I just completely glossed over Visage in the 7.03 changelog because whatever I did see was not sufficient enough. Like 7.0, I very rarely spam heroes, but Visage was so good when 7.0 dropped that I spammed him. I have no shame in admitting it. And then he flew too close to the sun. Him and his familiars all flew far too close to the sun. Immediately just got obliterated, and he's not viable. 7.03. What did they give him?
Reserve time.
Level 10 talent increased XP gain from 25% to 30%. Whoop-de-doo. And familiar HP rescaled from 300, 500, 700 to 400, 550, 700.
So a little more early life, yeah.
Yeah, but still not nearly enough. So for those of you who don't remember what changed with the Visage, the hero has been in the dumpster for a while, and the reason he was so good in 7.0 is because familiars were actually not just flying sacks of gold anymore, but they were actually useful and they could survive on their own. And then in addition to surviving on their own, they were even better when they were hanging out next to Visage, because Gravekeeper's Cloak became an aura, in which if your familiars are hanging around the hero, then that means that they also benefit from the cloak passive. That didn't get nerfed, it's still around, but Familiar's HP got massively nerfed. It used to be 500 at level 6, and then it got nerfed to 300, and now it's at 400, so splitting the difference. But the hero is it's still not in good shape right now. When you pair it with a Drow, then yeah, maybe this is kind of like a cheese strategy that was popular, I think, like 6.8, I don't even remember, 6.8 something. But I don't know. I don't think it's a very good strategy. It's not reliable. No Logic Gaming don't really have any great ways of clearing out familiars, to be fair. But it's still, like, it's such a difficult strategy to pull off because you still need to get through the early game as a Visage, and that is just so goddamn hard. Yeah, that's the difficult task, right? It feels like that in that one game that we saw, and, you know, as you pointed out, you played this hero quite a bit recently when the 7.0 first came out. Getting to that point of actually being scary is going to take a while, and it is somewhat difficult. So the synergy's there, the Drow synergy for sure, but it's kind of an all-in strategy. And hey, it is best of one though, so it's, if you could argue, you know, this is a time to be doing it, to be fair. But they're this starts. How do we have 2 Enchantresses in 4 games? Like, how is this a thing here today? To be fair, the first one lost. So, I mean, you could say the same thing. How are we having a Visage in 1 of 4 games? Literally 25% of our games have Visage in it. I don't think it's going to win, though. But, well, I mean, it's maybe too early to call. All I know is that whenever I was spamming Visage, I would play him in the offlane, because you hit that level 6 and then you're forced to be reckoned with. In this situation, I don't really think Visage fits in the offlane. It looks like more it's fitting mid? Yeah, what is it? I was going to say, is this a mid Visage? Like, because a Pudge final pick, unless they plan to do a mid Pudge with an offline Sand King and go really classic here. I mean, if you had to send the Visage or the Drow mid, I would prefer the Drow mid, but
10 seconds remaining.
Both of them are less than ideal options.
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know. I don't know.
I've never heard of these ZOKEN gaming guys before, and they're trying to put their names on the map, that's for sure. With some fun strategy right here in this best of one. So you have to lean towards no logic gaming just because, again, at least know the history a little bit of the players and coming into this, and the lineup overall seems a little more intact. I think is a good way to put it, but who knows? Again, they got a best of one here and trying to do something
No
crazy.
Talisman, 3 Iron Branches, Visage. Still doesn't tell me anything. I knew that he was going to be put in a core role, but
No support.
no tangos, so that means it's probably going to get shared tangos from someone, so it's probably mid-Visage.
Yeah, Sand King has that poor man shield. We figured that would end up in the off lane, so.
Right. And so roaming Pudge with the support Disruptor. I mean, so part of the reason why I did consider Visage to have such a hard time getting to the, scary phase is because his laning phase isn't that great. You do have buffed up damage from the Drow, in addition to, her helping out your familiars whenever Precision Ore is off cooldown, but I'm still super skeptical. Visage has 0 armor, and so Invoker with 1 Forge Spirit is going to cause havoc on this Visage mid. I don't know.
Wait, he has 0 armor? He really does.
Yep.
Wow.
That's Visage. Visage and Io, both 0 armor bros. I mean, you do get Gravekeeper's Cloak, and Gravekeeper's Cloak is, it gives you armor, but it's unreliable, especially against a like a Forge Spirit or any other summon that can easily burn off right clicks and reduce those layers. I would love to see it work. Nothing would make me happier than see a mid-Visage ball out of control.
But you don't have a lot of faith.
I don't have a lot of faith.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about Excalibur here on the Evoker, Mr. 9000 MMR, one of the few in the world even, so it's, wait, he's on Evoker, right? No, he's not. Wait, what? He's on the Juggernaut.
Arcana Juggernaut.
Oh, okay, well, never mind then. Easy matchup. Yeah, the Arcana hero. I actually haven't seen the Arcana yet in play.
I've seen this blue version. I haven't seen the red one yet.
Let's come out of the pause here and look forward to seeing some flashy stuff from Excalibur. All right, the go's given, and here we go. So, again, Visage, middle lane. Curious question for you. Let's stick it on the Visage subject here. The level 10 talent, that experience getting buffed, but experience is widely considered to be like one of the worst talent trees probably. Do you get the GPM, you think, or?
If this dude goes Midas, I think he definitely goes the XP gain, because familiars, as we said, they are very squishy at level 6, but they get a lot of HP as time progresses. The reason why Visage was so good in 7.00 was because his familiars started out with 500 HP. And so if you get your familiars to that point, oh wow, he actually goes for Grave Chill at level 1. They really are banking on getting a kill here, because that means that his laning phase is like level 1, no Gravekeeper's Cloak, you were going to take so much harass from this Invoker. Okay.
They're flanking around. I mean, they're setting up at the bounty rune here, so they have it controlled.
And they put a ward to block out this camp, but Centaur actually has not gone for an Iron Talon. He went for the poor man's shield, so he's probably not too concerned. As now Kaiser.
Invoker, he's dead. That rock coming out. Invoker, listen to me!
You fool!
What were you thinking? Well, they mentioned they were kind of all in on that first blood, and you know what? They get it. Really the best target, probably, on Invoker, so.
Yeah, that's true.
And
still, Visage is going to have difficulty at level 1 as Rubik steals the top bounty rune from the Sand King by lifting him up and tossing him out of the way. So, in the end, 2 bounty runes still go to No Logic Gaming.
Yeah. All right, well, that's at least good in the long run, even. But this Drow, he's going to be protected by both a Pudge and a Disruptor. If I'm Centaur here, he's going to find out very quickly that this is not going to be a friendly lane for him.
Yeah, they want to force him into going to that jungle, and then they want him to discover the hard way. Oh, it's blocked.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna leave you to have to watch these other lanes though, because my eyes are glued to mid. There aren't gonna be any kills happening, but I need to know how this Visage does.
Flow top lane is actually going to be lifted up with a spin on top. He doesn't have his Burrow Strike with that Caustic Finale level 1, but with the poor man shield and some tangos, he's going to be good at about half life here. But yeah, no, I'm definitely paying attention as well. You mentioned doesn't have that Gravekeeper's Cloak, but at level 2, you'd expect probably going to get that, right? Or does he even just get Soul Assumption if he feels like he's not being harassed? Okay, no, there's Gravekeeper's Cloak.
There's no way. He needs that Gravekeeper's Cloak. I'm surprised that Kaiser didn't go more aggressive. I mean, he was waiting for his own level 2, but, you know, Visage only had one shared Tango. Now he's completely out of regen. And, I mean, you need to get the bottle, and you need to get a lot of more last hits. Kaiser needs to play more aggressively.
To be fair to his credit, this isn't a matchup that you expect to have as
True.
an Invoker. So, for all we know, he's not too familiar with the matchup. You know, he doesn't really maybe know the hero too well. It's not one that we see really at all as of late, at least. And faulting a little bit on the knowledge there, perhaps. But.
Dude, why is that? Yeah, I mean, maybe, but, like, still, you don't stay this far back. What are you afraid of? Maybe he doesn't see the Pudge.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he only has one ward, but you're giving Visage so much. You're giving him so much.
That's what I was going to say. I think it is the Pudge, honestly. The Pudge factor, he doesn't see him, so you gotta always be on your toes. But yeah, he really is playing this very defensively, you're right. And it's kind of frustrating as a spectator because obviously we know Pudge is not nearby just yet, but he's going to pick up a double damage root, and he will head to the middle lane. So all of a sudden, Pudge is going to be involved now.
Yeah, he's smoked up. So all these fears may come to fruition. Hopefully Kaiser isn't like, well, if Pudge hasn't shown up now, then I'm probably safe.
Yeah, okay, there he goes. Pokes in for an auto attack, and now he's in trouble. The chill comes out. And here comes the Raw from Pudge. He has that double damage. And Sunstrike is going for the turn. Now they spread the damage right there, and those auto attacks doing plenty. Plav on Pudge with credit for the kill. So that's a tough time for Kaiser here in the middle lane.
Yeah, I mean, Precision Ore is helping this Visage out a little bit. Getting 9 bonus damage right now, and this Visage is 15-7 to the Invoker's 5-1.
Wow.
As Sand King does.
Yeah, he got caught up here in the top lane. Enchantress Gink coming in with the
this is the Enchantress that I wanted to see in that other series where we saw Enchantress being very active early on, and her combo heroes are great. You know, being able to put Telekinesis to set up for, you know, stomps, and then being able to Blade Fury to follow up damage. This is a good game for an Enchantress for sure.
She's actually sitting on her points too. She only has the she just spent a second when they were in enchant. I was gonna say she only had level 1 enchant at level 3 and nothing else, but she gets the second point enchant. Gonna probably wait to see what she needs to untouchable or the nature's attendance here. And what it calls for. But perhaps roaming to the middle lane could be an option, and that's exactly where they're going. She does have the Dark Troll Summoner for another 35 seconds. And now the Satyr, but Pudge is going to see this. And that'll be the key to fall back. Ooh, he goes for the hook on a Rubik, actually going for the turn kill. And in the middle lane, Visage is going to be netted. Not enough follow-up, though. He's a little too deep. The Rod off to the side. Sand King also here. He has a Burrow Strike lined up. Is he going to go?
Yeah, it's only level 1, or level 2, though.
Oh!
And hook only level 2 as well.
Tickled the butt there of Rubik.
I mean, even with that very light harass, you see how low the Visage gets. That's just how squishy the dude is. Actually putting 2 points in Grave Chill, as opposed to Gravekeeper's Cloak. This is such a greedy Visage build, and he's just not getting punished for it.
Don't question.
As now, bot lane, Disruptor.
In trouble, pops the Shrine on the way over his 3-3. There's a lift up. Gonna toss him right back in. The stomp on top of that. Enough damage though. There's a glimpse.
Oh, he should have gone for the double edge.
What's that strike? Yeah, I got it. He poured it to the tower. I was going to cut him off.
TP to the tower to go for the... Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, all right, fine. Wasn't
necessary, but can't blame him for trying. And yeah, Visage even gets another point in Soul Assumption. So yeah, he's to Bao Bao's credit, you know, Invoker has been playing so defensive that why would he get more levels?
Yeah, that's true.
Gravekeeper's Cloak. He's going to be somewhat ganked right here by J4, but he's going to be fine. Meanwhile, Pudge, on the other hand, not so fine. Enchant activated onto him, so slowing him down quite a bit. Can he maybe deny himself? No, he cannot. Enchantress credit for the kill there. So well played, taking out the supporting cast, and now the lift. And now this should be a dead Visage, unless the speed is enough with the steal. It is. Oh, that was close.
Oh, man. Unfortunately, Kaiser had no more mana.
Can he turn kill?
Blown.
Oh no, he doesn't have charges anymore. Okay. Grave Chill, no.
Radiant's middle tower is under.
Yeah, that Soul Assumption could do a lot of damage when he has his charges up.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that he's going to be getting bonus damage from this Drow means that Soul Assumption is like even more viable to deal damage this early on. Because typically, if you're just by yourself, you're heavily reliant on your familiars to build up those soul assumption charges, or you're taking a ton of damage like that. In this situation, he's basically has the scaling right-click ability to get a few charges here and there off of just his right-clicks, but Grave Chill's working out for him, and now Bao Bao's hit level 6, so all that fear that I had is put to rest because he's doing great. Disruptor, on the other hand, he's not doing too good.
Not doing too good here. He glimpsed back on the Centaur to try to help him get out, but not going to be enough, especially with now 4 players showing up. Kaiser actually credit, but at what cost? Because, yeah, the Grave Chill out, Soul Assumption new coming out. There's that big damage with the Familiars up, and down goes Kaiser on the Invoker. So Visage making some plays, mentioned level 6.
He can make more plays. Enchantress.
Oh, yeah, gonna get a stun. He gets 1 stun, he gets the 2, and the nuke right there with the Soul Assumption. Visage, mid-Visage, doing work, man. Oh, the hook almost hit on the Centaur. Not enough, though. Who were we to doubt this pick?
How dare I? Bao Bao the God.
He is making it work. I mean, I think there's definitely justification. Now, we got to see the top lane. Obviously, you can't ignore that completely. Excalibur is having absolute free farm up here. He's basically not been touched. I mean, Sand King, but he's looking pretty good, upwards of almost 3,000. What is he going for? Ring of Aquila, so we don't have an answer just yet. As far as will it be the Helm of the Dominator or not.
Yeah, I don't know if there's something specific you go for against a Visage. An early Mantis style wouldn't be bad. Yeah, I don't really know what you go for as a Juggernaut.
No!
Meanwhile,
oh, the coordination. Not on point, but it won't matter in the end.
They're gonna get it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That was a mistake.
Ooh.
Slipped him out.
They get a kill. Hook. And no Dismember even up. The heck? Juggernaut. Oh, he had used Omnislash at some point. That's very strange.
Oh, that was earlier. Yeah, no, I didn't even catch that. I mean, he didn't have mana. I noticed that before I went to the bottom lane to watch that action. So he got caught without a spin.
Yeah, I guess so. That's a very valuable kill because Pudge and Sand King both participated in it, and those are basically the 2 heroes that you would most want to get that kill on a solo farming Juggernaut. Now this bot lane's gonna get pushed by no logic, and Enchantress is a okay gank creep, but not really a great push creep.
Again, Drow was pretty much ganked just before that, so it was a core for a quarter, to be fair, but...
True, but it was like a 4-hero rotation. Now she's gonna get ganked again.
There's a lift into the hoof stomp. Is it enough damage? Sunstrike, it's not enough damage. Seven's going for the turn now. He does have the frost arrows coming out, and that's enough for the kill. He just picked up the gust as well as he hit level 7, and he turns to help kill the Centaur. I was going to mention how he didn't have gust after all that, but he hit level 7 and he got it immediately. And he helped use it right there.
Wasn't entirely necessary, but maybe like sometimes you think is the 4th point in Precision War better, and now mid lane Bao Bao, he's gonna get this kill.
That's a lot of damage, man.
That's a hell of a lot of damage.
This Visage, yeah, no, he's definitely making me opening my eyes a little bit. How much damage he can actually do.
Yeah, because like Familiar, so the other major change to Familiars is that you used to need to always activate their Stone Form to get their damage charges back. And that was so tedious because Stone Form also lasted longer. It was like, I want to say like over 10 seconds for sure.
Oh, wow.
And so like you would go for a gank, and then you were just out of commission for like the next 30 seconds or so. Now, Familiars dynamically gain their charges back much faster. And so, I think like every 2 seconds that they're not attacking or something like that, they get a charge back. Meanwhile, it's Sunstrike kill onto the Disruptor. Poor guy.
Yeah. A little bit of
But yeah, the Familiars just do a ton of damage. The problem is that they die like instantly. But in a 1v1 situation against an Invoker, Invoker's not going to turn around and kill your Familiars. He has to run. And, you know, if you can't kill the Familiars, then they will kill you.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah, it was impressive damage right there, and he is also assisting to push in that bottom tower. Obviously, Disruptor, again, getting picked off by the Sunstrike, but still, mission accomplished with the tower kill. And now you have a Dragon Lance on Drow Ranger here, already finished. What is Visage going? He did get the Hand of Midas here.
Yep, and so that means that as soon as he hits level 10, he's almost definitely going to take this XP gain talent, and that is a ton of bonus XP at level 10.
Is Ags a high priority on Visage for that extra familiar?
Yeah, on a core Visage, definitely. Sometimes on a support Visage, you get like other utility items. He will most likely complete the Solar Crest first, but he's definitely going to get the Aghanims. And then maybe a Rod afterwards, but we'll see.
Oh, he's roaming with the team right here. Pudge, he does have Dismember.
Man, this is such a good pick if they can get it.
Can he hook Dismember, get the stun maybe? Not going to happen.
Glimpse.
There we go, you're right. Yeah, they glimpsed him back. They were all sitting here waiting for the glimpse to come, and eventually did come, and that's a kill on the Juggernaut. So, Milan here, he's getting in trouble. He got dusted out. And Pow Pow with that level 4 Soul Assumption now doing plenty of damage, securing the kill. He's been carrying that dust as well. He used that to kill the Invoker earlier too, preventing a Ghost Shroud out, or Ghost Walk.
Yeah, it's definitely a heads-up play. I mean, like, he's crossed the hump, and at this point, Visage is a massive threat for No Logic Gaming, and so that's why I'm specifically considering what is this Juggernaut going to do against this Visage. And it does look like he is going to go for the Manta style, so that was what I thought would be the best option. It's still him against the Familiars, because the rest of his team is not going to help. Enchantress has her Dragonlance completed, so she's not going to be utterly useless, you know, assuming she doesn't die here.
You were saying?
She has Shrine.
Okay, does have Shrine. Excalibur is running over. Sunstrike on a Plav, and Bud just realizing pretty quickly this might have been a lost cause. Yeah, he's going to get taken out now in the background, actually. Centaur being locked up in the Static Storm as the Epicenter goes off. They get the kill on Rubik as well as the Centaur. Now Excalibur trying to spin out Disruptor. He will go down as well, but the Soul Assumption trying to get in range right here. Excalibur, healing work going up. He will be fine. He has a lot of charges, though, but he can't cast it because, yeah, no mana. Needs 140 right there, so unable to finish anyone off, and will be a 2-for-2 exchange between the two teams at that Shrine fight. I mean, when you're fighting in a Shrine, that's usually going to be a bad spot, so 2-for-2. I think ZOKEN is not too disappointed.
No, definitely not, especially because they trade, I guess, their Epicenter for Excalibur's Omnislash, and that's a pretty good trade, because you should feel pretty confident going for this top tier 1 push now. And one person should defend the bot tier 1, and since Omnislash is down, like, you can send like a support. Even like Pudge can go down there and defend it, but they're actually going to go for Roche instead with this fresh medallion completed on Bao Bao.
I noticed this with the China cast that we're doing too, and now we got ult today. We have not seen a Helm of the Dominator. Like,
that's so weird to me.
Isn't it?
It didn't get nerfed that much.
Exactly. Yeah.
-2, I believe, to the attribute bonuses.
Well, and
like 90% of the reason is the auras.
Exactly. As we both agreed the last time we talked about this, is that, yeah, we still expected to definitely get to see it because the auras is what makes it so powerful, and those are still exactly the same. As well as being able to dominate the creeps, of course, and nope, apparently not. I guess the pattern increase as well as the slight nerf to the stats is enough of a deterrence here. At least,
yeah, and if anything, I thought the substitute item would be like drums, but I still haven't seen drums at all. Drums got a minor buff, and it used to be drums was the go-to item that everyone bought, every core bought, and then it became Helm. And now it's kind of changing up. You see, like we saw Vlad's on that troll that one game. Aquila is still a very common pickup, and then usually sometimes like a casual Yasha. But, I mean, whatever nerf took place was apparently effective enough to discourage most pros from going for it.
Visage here does have the medallion. I mentioned the Solar Crest eventually going to be coming along, so that's going to be nice damage amp, as well as the evasion will be satisfying us on top of that. Enchantress, by the way, also wanted to bring this up. But earlier, is actually speaking of that, right as I say this, Enchantress is going to be jumped. And, well, I was talking about her Untouchable, how she maxed it out, and that comes into play a little bit right there, but still not enough to keep her alive. So, yeah, not getting the heal, though. Leveling up Untouchable first.
Yeah, so the familiars do get affected by Untouchable. One of the, I guess, nerfs that they received is that they're no longer spell immune. They used to be spell immune. Now they will be susceptible to Untouchable, so that means that Visage can't get solo picks on the Enchantress. Okay. And Nature's Attendance would have been like infinitely more useless rather than Untouchable in that situation.
Visage, he's hunting. He almost found a chance on a Rubik, but Rubik did a good job.
Instead, top lane, Juggernaut getting glips back.
Spins in time though. Stampede on top of that, but Visage
is still gonna go.
Sending in the familiars. There's one. There's two. Is there enough follow-up? There's the Burl Strike. And the damage now lacking. Healing work comes out. Yeah, a little too far.
They still want it. Omni Slash is gonna have to get baited, I think.
Made the spin out at least. Hook. Oh, good attempt, but he gets glimpsed back in anyways.
Nice.
As a maxed out glimpse, yeah, that range. Just absurd. And easy kill in the
this
end.
Disruptor doesn't even have very many items of his own. He's 1.8k net worth right now, so doesn't even have arcane boots completed, but all you need is that level 4 glimpse. You let the Visage handle the rest.
Level 4 glimpse, got the static storm kinetic field combination. I think he's doing alright. Top tower, here comes the pressure. Again, that precision aura also taking effect. And
yeah, on cooldown, unfortunately, so they used it for some gank attempt with familiars, but just the passive bonus is good enough with all these ranged heroes. Well, actually, I say all these, but it's only the Disruptor on top of the 2 cores.
Yeah, so, but that's enough. Visage himself dealing plenty, and then even Disruptor a little bit addition there. So easy enough for a tier 2 tower push on top of that kill, and now you got a Hurricane Pike. Finish the top of the lot for the Drow Ranger, so she's looking good. The Aegis still on her, of course. They're still secondary middle as well as bottom. We'll see who they rotate. It looks like the middle lane. Going to be that choice right here in Visage.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
I thought he might have finished. Oh, I guess he probably did.
Yeah, he has. It's getting sent on the courier.
Oh, so regressed.
Sand King.
Where was that? That was down here. Okay.
Yeah, they've been watching him for a while. There's a lot of dire vision in this Radiant jungle. And they get the pick, but they're going to trade tier 2s, which is actually I consider to be in the favor of No Logic Gaming. But arguably the mid tier 2 is a little bit more important, since now they have no control over their jungle. No Logic Gaming are pretty much going in blind if they want to farm their jungle.
Meanwhile, you got Invoker, level 13 himself with his own Hand of Midas, of course. He's going to fall back after that tier 2 tower kill. You see ZOKEN, though, they want to cut somebody off. Disruptor leading the charge for that.
He should not go for that. Okay, good. Oh god, he is.
Okay, good, you were saying?
Oh, nice Sunstrike.
Okay, well, that will be a kill.
Pudge, unfortunately, was a little bit slow on that hook reaction, but he'll get the turnaround.
Yeah, so that's where it's like, okay, they got it, but that's not the exchange.
No. Disruptor, as I said earlier, is the lowest net worth, whereas Centaur is actually the 5th lowest net worth, so yeah, not the best exchange.
He's trying to build a forest staff now, of course, has that Blink Dagger, but then there's the idea of the Axe, which no doubt would be useful as it tends to, but that's a ways off in a game like this. Invoker, though, really been looking at him too much. He has really the typical 1,200, excuse me, gold now saved up. We'll see
and he's keeping the pace with Visage, even though Visage has this experienced talent. Bao Bao has been spending a lot of time going around ganking people, whereas the Invoker has just been farming, and they're pretty much comparable in terms of levels, both of them about level 14 in the quarter. And so, despite not having the most dominating laning phase, Kaiser is keeping the pace pretty well.
See roaming to the jungle. Milan leading the way on Rubik. So Kaiser with that Invoker. Looking to get a great kill onto, those are just the familiars, so never mind. Hoping to find the Visage by himself, but he's not really by himself. He's got teammates nearby, so not going to be an easy chance. Yeah, this is the good thing with the Visage too, the whole split farm idea. You got familiars farming one lane, you yourself farm something else. Nice micromanagement there.
Yeah, and he has a fresh summon available, so if a team fight breaks out, right now Juggernaut is trying to farm them up, and he may resummon, or this familiar may fly south. Yeah.
Oh.
Close.
And it lives. So Excalibur, let's take a closer look at this skin. Dang. Oh, he like digs his sword into the ground. That's pretty sick.
Oh yeah, I mean, classic Valve recycling. It's basically the same thing as that Shadow Fiend scratching the ground.
Yeah,
just
that's
made
true.
one line.
True.
No, Valve are great at that. Like, whenever effigies were first introduced, like they were pretty cool, and then they introduced Storm Spirit's Aghanim Scepter, and it was literally just you turn the enemy into an effigy, and it was like, come on, man, really? This is what you do?
Wait, it turned them into an effigy?
Well, like, it turns them into a stone remnant, right? And, like, that's a pretty cool effect, but it was around with effigies, so they did all that coding with, like, the particles and stuff like that, and they're like, dude, What if you just make this his Aghanim's upgrade?
Okay.
And that guy got a raise.
Gotcha. No, I thought you said Storm Spirit at first, so I have to like think about that.
Oh yeah, no. So I may have Earth Spirit, yeah.
That makes more sense.
Radiant's
Top lane, they want to defend this. Plav at least does. Tara's still about half left. They're porting in. They get the tier 2 bottom, and there's the hook. It lands on Invoker. Just remember to follow. Quick kill. Yep, it'll happen. Well played right there. And in comes a Pearl Strike as well with the Static Storm. It catches just the Centaur, but at least enough for a kill on him most likely. And you see Vicious still looking good. Now the Omni Slash is bouncing around a lot of targets though. So some spread damage, and now that Soul Assumption, it's max charge. If he finds Excalibur, that's an easy kill.
He's got it.
There we
Doesn't
go.
Even need it.
Doesn't even need it. The auto attack's more than enough. Off to the side, Rubik goes down. What a fight for ZOKEN. A 4 for nothing. Not even losing a single person.
Dire's bottom tower is under
And
attack.
wow, Pudge actually dealing the most damage in that fight, 2.8k damage, but Visage a close second, which is what I was expecting, because this Visage has reached critical mass with that Solar Crest. Didn't take very much damage from the. What are they pinging? I don't know.
He missed
From that
his
Solar
hook.
Crest. He didn't take very much. Wait, what was he going for?
He
though?
was trying to hook his team in. It was just some trolling going on, I think.
Oh, they were just checking out the Roche pit, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Visage with the Solar Crest took like no damage whatsoever from that Omni Slash. And with these familiars locking down the Centaur in place of that Static Storm Kinetic Field combo. He's a force to be reckoned with, and now has the Aghanim Scepter completed, coming in on the Courier, so it's you had your window and you missed it, and now you will feel the wrath of the Visage.
He has a kind of a similar. Oh, actually, it was,
Wow.
3-3 gets caught here. Was that just a solo Pudge?
Yeah, it was.
Jeez. He has 13
Well,
charges
he
now.
blinks himself into the trees, so
Might as well
farms
farm.
a little bit.
Might as well make use of this embarrassing moment.
Yeah, so what were you saying about Visage?
His talent tree is actually kind of similar to a Lone Druid. Kind of looking at it, obviously the level 10's a little bit different, but you got your level 15 and 20 are somewhat similar, right? You got the 50 damage, and then is he gonna go the minus 40-second respawn time?
Oh, bot lane,
so.
Pudge.
Okay, he's gonna get caught. And actually, the counter hook
Pure
now
damage.
from Milan.
That's a big steal, actually.
Deny.
He's gonna deny himself. Now Visage familiars are hungry. They want Rubik. They want him.
Bad damage though. They're gonna go
get him.
under. But
Needs
this is
to
just
resummon,
distraction,
I
if
think.
anything.
Oh,
Fadeable. Yeah, he's gonna keep him
that's
alive.
yeah, I can't believe it.
Jeez.
Yeah, it is actually. I never considered that, but it is actually very Lone Druid-esque. Though we will never reach a point, I guarantee you, that the Visage will never not need his familiars, unlike Lone Druid not needing his bear.
True,
That's
yeah.
Grave Chill.
Oh, he has the axe now as well. Big Pearl
Nice.
Strike coming out to save the day and set up some turn potential. The big Soul Assumption nuke on Invoker. Not enough damage, so deafening blast onto him. Buyback, by the way, happened on a Pudge. Is joining back in the fight as the Epicenter goes off. They get the kill on Invoker. The double edge still not enough. That armor of the Gravekeeper's Cloak coming into play, no doubt. He stays alive. They get 3 kills in total. And the chase continues. He wants to glimpse somebody. Not going to find anyone as Disruptor, but obviously damage done right there. That Burl Strike timing was perfect.
Yeah, it was amazing. And this Visage is so tanky. Like, Gravekeeper's Cloak is providing so much damage mitigation that he ate a full Deafening Blast Chaos Meteor combination, Aghanim Scepter, and still, like, did not take that much damage.
He survived it. Nearly 2,000 life and the mitigation as we go back to on top of that. Yeah, what, 16 armor that he has right now. The evasion's kicking in too. He's looking good. The 3 familiars here. This is kind of one of these games that you kind of look at. I know we're not talking about top tier Dota 2 by any means, but this is an eye opener, I think, for some people that a core Visage idea is something that could be possible nowadays even. And he's trying to show that at least.
If he didn't have the Drow Ranger behind him, then I don't think he would have been able to get away with,
That's fair.
Visage doing this well. But it's still a combination.
They're going to try to go for him right here. He does support, but this time it is enough damage. Beautiful combo coming out. Sunstrike on top of the hoof stomp. Familiars are doing work. You're right. They're locking on the Juggernaut with the Dismember, trying to help finish him off, and they will be able to assist for the kill. So the Familiars, he's doing life after death right here, kind of like Chen style, as Drow gets picked up, but he has the Aegis, going to be resurrecting. Familiar's still alive, and they're picking off kills as they take on Enchantress, and you see Centaur falling to punch. Now Drow Ranger going back in. They have Sand King lining up as well, and Invoker gets caught. There's a buyback on both. Rubik as well as Juggernaut, but the damage is too much. the epicenter, finishing off Invoker. Yeah, Bow Bow, he's like, I don't even care that I'm dead. I got my little buddies here. They do plenty.
Yeah, they are little, but they pack a hell of a punch. And I think during that push... No, wow, Precision Aura wasn't even used that entire fight. So they could have been doing even more. And right now they'll be taking a shrine all by themselves.
Jesus.
Invisibility.
Yeah, they're
He
gonna
needs to stone
try
from them,
to. Yeah, they're out of damage here.
But yeah, it's definitely like we saw a Drow strat earlier with that Medusa. We see a Drow strat here, and so Visage Drow was one of those things that you would never let through in previous patches. You would see Drow was like one of those surprise fifth picks, which is kind of still a threat, like Broodmother style, where you're like not really prepared for it, and then all of a sudden Drow shows up and it just completely changes the entire face of the draft. It's not as intimidating these days, but you know, you keep showing the power of a core Visage like this.
Did we lose you again, Tsunami? We might have lost Tsunami again. R.I.P. Tsunami. On while it lasted. Meanwhile, Pudge. Now they're going to grab Disruptor, actually. Omni Slash cutting right through him, but that's only a Disruptor. They lose Centaur in the process. So a 1-for-1 really coming out right there. But Omni Slash now on cooldown for about 110 seconds, and they are going to go finish off the Shrine now. As yeah, at the point that he's making there with the Visage Drow combo, so really together is what's making it. But that kind of goes back to this being a best of one as well. I mean, if this was a best of three, I mean, sure, they could have still done it for game one, but then if you know logic, you know, you make sure not to let that happen again by banning one of the other hero, and or also maybe building a stronger lineup, ideally, whatever that may be around it. So, well, best of one. ZOKEN kind of going the all-in strat as we mentioned from the very beginning, and they're clearly making it work. And in a comfortable spot right now, and I know it's being brought up, what does Visage even go for next? He is going to get a Blink Dagger, so to answer that question quickly. But following that, I know Shiva's was definitely an idea. He looks like he's got the AC queued up, though, for his next tier item. Now, that's going to be a while, seeing that he just got the Blink Dagger.
Oh, you're back.
Are you? Okay, we're back here.
What happened?
You cut out for me.
You cut out for me?
So, well, I don't know that. The game was still going for me and everything, so.
Yeah, I saw your minimap thing flying around, and so I was just like, well, something's afoot, but we're back now.
Silly Discord. I thought Skype was the issue now.
Right.
Discord's turn to be the issue.
I know, Invoker's the issue.
Invoker having issues right here. Man, he's going to fall. Yeah, he just cannot get away.
Dun, dun, dun.
No buyback.
Now Centaur, sweating bullets. 1 second on blink.
Oh, the chase, though. They find him. Here come the Familiars.
Familiars do their work. Which they actually took a fair amount of damage from that return.
Oh, that's true, actually.
He's going to resummon bot lane. He's going to go in on Enchantress. This is hard. The Familiars attack so slow against this Max Untouchable.
Gonna get a stun? God, it's so hard. Yeah, there we go. There's the Grave Chill. Now the stuns.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
That's a nice micro in there right there once again. And meanwhile, the middle lane being pushed in. Enchantress does have a buyback. Invoker going to use this right there. Enchantress, I'm guessing, it's probably also as Juggernaut gets caught. Oh no, the Tornado, the EMP coming through, trying to save the day, but the Static Storm, Kinetic Field, keeping him in place. He is going to stay dead this time, as finally a buyback onto Enchantress, only to die as she runs into the right-click turret of Drow Ranger right here. So this is going to be the middle racks, and once again, the beginning of the end, most likely, here in this game.
Nope, never mind.
Now you're calling me on Skype.
Temporary server outage. Yeah, I was, but now we're back.
Okay. Just commentating on the fight right there. It's obviously complete control for ZOKEN here, and well, you come back right at what may be the end. And there we go. GG. It's the mid-Visage.
I was proven wrong. I said that nothing would make me happier than see this Visage fall out of control, and I said that where in the back of my head I was like, that's not gonna happen. And then goddamn, ZOKEN, bow bow, and -7.